Andy, it's good to look back, of course, and would it be true to say that last season could be summed up in blood, sweat, tears and perhaps smiles at the end?
I guess so. You know, a lot happened, didn't it, when you actually sit back and you have time to reflect about the wheres and the why-fors and how everything unfolded. But to be honest, we've not dwelt too much on what went on. I guess you've summed it up really. But, you know, as soon as the season finished, we were in forward-thinking mode. You know, we did a review of last season where we did well, where we learned things where maybe we underperformed and could have done a little bit better, and we've used that obviously in our planning moving forward. The planning over the first sort of 4 to 6 weeks was extensive, and then since then obviously we've tried to begin to put that plan into fruition, whether it's with training, pre-season friendlies, whether it's with upgrading our performance standard here, new signings, etc. The list goes on.
And you mentioned pre-season friendlies there. I know that results aren't important during that particular phase of preparations, but how have you been pleased, or have you been pleased with the performances?
I think, you know, it's something, if we look back to last season around performance, that we've been grappling with during pre-season as well. When you start to make new signings, you're trying to embed those players into the team and the way of playing and the style, etc., etc. The big thing for us last season was around consistency. The one thing that we do know about good athletes and great teams is they have a high level of performance week in and week out. They play at or very near their best on a consistent basis, and I think if we look back to last season as a team, we didn't do that, and that was one of the big sort of challenges and barriers that we had to overcome. We had to learn how to play consistently well. We spoke many times about a good 45 minutes or the odd game here, the odd game there, without putting back-to-back games or halves of football together, and it was only at the end of the season when it got to do or die the team was able to do that. I think during pre-season we've gone back to you know, that level of inconsistency, so it's important for this group, this new group now, to understand the performance level, the performance standard week in and week out, what's going to face them as challenges, and be able to stand up to that on a weekly basis. We've not quite mastered that during pre-season. There were some good performances, there were some disappointing performances, but as you rightly point out, the main thing is getting people up to speed and gelling the team again.
And you've made a trio of new signings from one club in particular, Wolves Women.
Yeah, obviously they're a local team. We know about these types of players. We were delighted that they've committed to us. I think they bring added enthusiasm, added energy and added quality to the existing group. Equally, we're delighted with the players that have committed to us again that we had last season. So those 3 players plus a goalkeeper as well that's coming from Llandudno in the last couple of days will all add quality, will all add that competitive nature to the squad and that challenge for places that we're after.
Well, I was going to ask you about the goalkeeper because that's hot off the press, so to speak. That's going to be announced around this press conference. Did you feel that that was one particular area, because Sarah Parks has been very good, hasn't she? But that was one area that you'd like to challenge players on?
Well, again, you've mentioned it, Stuart. I think obviously as a manager, as a coach, as a team, as a club, you can never rest in the position that you're in. We know, looking at social media, looking at the internet, that other clubs are making signings. Everybody in this league is desperate to push on. We've got Abergavenny coming into the league as well that have got experience in the National League. Did very, very well last year. They've made new signings as well. So everybody's trying to swell their numbers. Everybody's trying to add quality and competition to their squad. And obviously as TNS, a winning team, a winning club, we're no different. We want to do that in terms of the goalkeeper position. Sarah was one of our standout performers last year, incredibly reliable, a good leader, a good voice in the dressing room. But as you say, you know, if you've not got a number 2, that person maybe feels as though on occasion there's no motivation, there's no challenge. So it's really important that all positions, all players are being challenged, and as a coach that's our job. That's my job, to make sure that we're putting that in place.
And we're on the verge of the second Gennaro Adran Premier season for the women here in Wales, top flight football. Do you feel that perhaps the experiences of last season, although hard at times, have actually strengthened you and the girls in general to take the second campaign much more head on?
Yeah, I think so. I think, sitting here this time last year, we didn't really know what we were letting ourselves in for. The group of players that we had been brought together and never played together as a group before, so there were a lot of things that were uncertain and uncontrollable at that time. As we sit here 12 months on, there are a lot of things that are now in our control. Obviously, the emotions and everything that goes around the decision making and the thinking and the problem solving is the same. There's a lot that we didn't know last year that we now know. I think looking back and harping back, every team in that league had success at different levels, and success isn't just about winning games, isn't just about winning trophies. And for us, the success was understanding the challenges and overcoming the challenges that we were faced week on week. And again, I think we're in a much better position this year now. We faced Barry Town at the weekend. They was a really tricky opponent for us last year. We didn't handle them at all well at times, and I think that we know a lot more about them, and we're in a lot better position now to deal with the immediate match day that faces us and the week preparation leading up to that.
And in terms of preparations, as you say, Barrytown United women this weekend here at Park Hall, how have the preparations, not only on the pitch but off it as well, been going so far?
Yeah, terrific. We're really pleased. We're in a really good place. Everybody's excited, everybody's upbeat. We're all anticipating a good start. We've looked at the fixtures and what lies ahead for the first 3, 4, 5, 6 games and so on. And we've tried to plot a little bit of a route into September and what that might look like. Of course, it starts this weekend, and we're in good shape as we sit here now tonight.
And as you have said, Andy, you know a lot more about the opponents this time round. Have you got your tactics already set in stone, the starting 11 perhaps, or are you still working through a few things that perhaps could be affected by the training sessions this week?
Well, the simple answer to that is we're not going to complicate things. We're going to strip it all back. We're going to stick to fundamentals, as I said. We've got new players coming into the team, so we can't move too fast, because otherwise we're in danger of just complicating it and the whole thing falling apart. So we've got an idea of how we want to play and what we're looking for this weekend. It'll be all about us. It'll not be about the opponent, and we'll see how much the team and the new players have taken on board and how ready we are, probably by about quarter to 4, 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
And although it was across the border, of course, it was a fantastic result for the England Lionesses recently. Do you feel that that will have a knock-on effect in Wales in terms of perhaps infusing young girls to get involved in football?
Well, we really hope so, don't we? As you say, there's been a lot of media, a lot of noise, a lot of sort of visual around the Euros this summer, with a large number of female role models suddenly appearing on the television, particularly in a football sense. So I would imagine that will inspire a lot of young players to want to, not only get involved, but those that are involved to actually push on and challenge themselves to become better and see what opportunities lie ahead for them. With regards to us here at TNS, with regards to our club, we've already gone out and we've said to people, look, this is a moment to get involved in women's football now, in whatever capacity that is, whether it's as a player, whether it's as a spectator, whether it's as a sponsor, whether it's as a coach, marketing, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. And we're here, and we need people to come on board to help us, not to drive TNS, but to drive women and women's status within football, not only within Wales but across the whole of the UK, because it's really, really important that everybody appreciates that equality doesn't yet exist in the field of football for females. It's still biased towards men and male involvement, and we need to rectify that.
Andy Williams, thank you for your time today, and all the very, very best for the upcoming game this weekend.
Thank you.